how we doing?
Is this better? Twitch?
Hello.
Twitch, do you love us now?
Did you just want a real refresh or freshen up? Yeah, Streamlabs is not reporting errors this time. Okay. Let's refresh the dashboard, see what it says. There we go. Connection excellent. Okay, that was a weird blip. Sorry about that. Hello.
Yeah, sorry about that, chat. Hello.
We're actually here now.
Yeah. Great.
Hello there.
Oh, hello. Come on board.
Welcome, welcome. We're here this time.
Yeah, we're actually for sure here this time. Yeah. So, I know that I've got, like, the middle of, like, a really busy week. I should, like, take it easy today. But what if I tried to finish this today?
You said that last week.
I did. Been like doing a section a week-ish. I think I'm on like the last section or the second to last section, and it should be going a lot quicker now, because there's been a lot of setup. No, it's been a lot of setup, but now we're kind of at that over the other side of it. So, should easier. Saying that, there's a lot of emotions I'm gonna have to deal with right here.
Sure is.
And that's gonna be a little tricky to manage. I think it's doable. Is it as doable at the level of tired that I am? Let's find out. What are you working on today? Because I know you said that you wanted to work on...
yeah, the Tala and Donald piece is still ongoing, but I think while it's sort of fresh in my memory, I might do a bit of a doodle from the game I played this weekend, which we will talk about a bit more in depth probably once I start it. So for now, I'm gonna try and do a hasty warm-up. Whenever I go through my VODs and upload them to YouTube, and I look at the length of time and things, and I find thumbnails, I'm always very conscious aware that I spend more time doing the warm-up than doing the actual drawing of the thing. Which is because warm-up takes ages to do.
So long.
But you gotta do it. So I'll try not to get too distracted. Last week I got distracted by so many things because we were talking about Pokemon a lot.
Yes, we were. I'll make this mistake again.
I mean, I don't really have any new Pokemon stories for this week because I didn't play at all last week, despite my eagerness and love of the franchise and being the Pokemon girl. I had no time to play it at all last week, so I have made no progress, and I'm sure everybody has flown very far ahead of me now.
You'd be surprised. I don't even have the game yet.
I know.
See, we have this week as well of commiseration of the last week that I'm going to be normal.
For a long as if while. That was ever a thing.
Yeah, for normal for me. Walker comes out this weekend, y'all. Next week is going to be wild. I'm going to be interesting next week. Because next week, I would have spent the weekend playing Endwalker. Then that morning, I'm getting a tattoo. Then I have a lecture, and then I have this.
Oof.
So I might be a little weird.
It might be a no thoughts head empty stream.
It will be very full, many thoughts, so much energy because I'm about to crash. Lots of cling film noises. Tears.
Aww. Papa thinks that you're just trying to join in. They're so excited.
Yeah. The only reason I don't do as many warm-ups as I used to on stream is because these times I tend to be writing all day. So I consider that my warm-up.
That's fair.
My warm-up's done.
Just sit back a little bit more. There we go. Still leaning forward so much. It's been a hella busy week and it's only just started.
Been a while. Wow. Who is messaging me? You know it's art stream, people.
It's art stream time, my dudes. Hello, Lying. Lovely to see you as always. Oh no, what's going on? What is happening? What do you have?
Endwalker Survival Squad.
Oh no.
Kay's conspiracy boarding in the Endwalker group chat. Hi.
Hello. So he's coping well.
Yeah, we're all of us who are up to date in Final Fantasy are doing fine.
Just
peachy. Me and Aaron and Kay for the first time in a while.
Been a while.
We're alone in a chat and we were like, oh yeah, what was going on? The end of 5.55.
Oh, you guys did a recap, did you?
And we're like, oh yeah, that was a thing that. Yeah, I guess that's also a thing we're gonna have to deal with. And I guess it's also that. We're fine.
I mean,
Tell y'all I'm moonbound this week. I am.
She sure is. I'm not. Because I have been.
Soon, my young friend.
I have been far too heckin' busy for like the last half a year to play much Final Fantasy.
I am potentially the only one who is because of our squad, because obviously it got moved, which is fine, but it means that I'm now the only one. It actually got to a more convenient time for me, but worse for everyone else.
Yeah, because the others had tried to like book time off work for it, but then it got delayed, so that time that they got off for it no longer synced up.
Yeah, and they couldn't move it because it's December.
Yeah.
For me, I was like, oh, it's on the other side of my presentation. That's perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna be like the only one. It's gonna be me and my cursed knowledge alone in the corner of the room again.
Exactly, Lying. Time off? Don't know it. Oh, I can't wait for Christmas, if not just to sleep for a bit.
Just go unconscious for a week.
Just tack do not disturb on my door. I mean, it might be a bit early to ask, but I suppose I probably should. Do we have a rough idea what's going to be happening that week in terms of Artstream? Because Artstream's going to fall on the 21st and the 28th.
So, I might be traveling.
That was what I was thinking.
I actually don't. The short answer is I actually don't know exact days.
That's fine. We can discuss it closer to the time.
I'm probably going to be about for either the 21st or the 22nd. I'm not sure which. 28th, almost definitely not.
Yeah.
I think I'm back that day. I'm not. I'm coming back the day after. Won't have my gear. do feel that like I don't really get time off. Make a little pocket of time, but I'll be doing other stuff. Busy.
Yes. December's always a busy time for everybody.
Yeah.
But most of my business.
December, worst month.
Yeah. Hot takes.
Don't get me wrong.
Hot takes. But consider January.
No, December's worse than January. I hate December. I see spicy month opinions with me.
Spicy month opinions.
Strong opinions about the months and the weekdays.
Yeah. January, I told you before, January is the between times where nobody knows what time, what day, when it is.
Oh.
Time is fake in the between times. Hello, Frog. Thank you for hosting. Mwah.
There's a frog and a das. Arrive simultaneously.
Of course, they come in pairs.
Yeah. It's a duo. No, December's worse. It's just worse.
Because I'm that extra when I was making my months for my own calendar, my calendar in my homebrew world, as a lot of people know because I'm dragon obsessed, is based off dragons. It's the Draconian calendar. So each of the months is assigned to one of the primary dragon types of D&D, the chromatics and the metallics. Obviously now gemstones have come out that I've just got to ignore that bit of lore because it messes with my calendar. But
I feel that in my soul.
Yeah, but
I have to ignore that because it will mess with my good calendar world building.
I spent a long time making that calendar.
Just do what I do and have different cultures have multiple calendars. Hate yourself.
Yeah. So obviously, like the fire dragons and stuff are like more the summer months, and obviously the ice dragons fall more in the winter months. And I couldn't work out where to put the black dragon for acid. And I opted that the two ice dragons would be the equivalent of November and December, and the equivalent of January would be black. And Spook was like, why? That's so weird. And I was like, it's very grim, but generally black dragons are considered to represent death the most.
Right.
And I was like, it's the death of the year.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking to someone whose winter is literally called famine, so...
See, now I'm like tabbing out to double check my own world building lore because it's like been so long that I did it. I'm not 100% even I've got that right. I think maybe instead of January I did pick December because it was the last month, but I can't quite remember. It has probably been about 3 or 4 years since I did any of my homebrew world. Because the world caught fire!
Things happened. I don't think my months or anything. There's 6, right?
Calendar.
5. So I have 5 months in my calendar. So like, they're not anything. I know the weekdays are the eyes of the sun. And sun, and also just
my days are very basic. It is a 6-day week, and it is still draconic based. So there is the 5 days of the week for the 5 breath types, and 1 for Bahamut. 5 days for...
No one asked me how many days there are in a Faerun week or a year. I don't ask. I feel that.
But I actually know this, not from any of the like D&D books, but from the Drizzt Do'Urden books, because the author frequently refers to 10 days, and I was like, what's so special about 10 days? And I realised that it wasn't like... it wasn't like 10 days the word, it was 10 hyphen days. 10 days is like what they refer to it as. The week is 10 days, apparently.
I kept mine a little simple, and I was like, no, I'm gonna have 7 weekdays just so I don't get confused. But I am gonna have 49 days in a year. 10 days, yeah. I confuse myself with my calendar because of the way the dates formatted in my world, because it's season. Yeah, it includes season. Then it's like, so it's like numerical day, day of week, month, season. Then obviously the moment you get into famine, it's just a weekday famine. Which I think is a little bit of that like fake time thing that you were talking about. It's like, the moment you get into winter, there is no time.
Yeah.
It's just, you're just in famine until you're not in famine anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, 10 day. A 10 day is a Faerunian unit of time. The calendar of Harptus is divided. Faerunian, that's what it says.
Yes.
It divided the 30-day months into 3 blocks of 10 days, simply put as 10 days. The word is used interchangeably with the Earth term week.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, that's
Learn something today, everybody.
about Faerun. So yeah, my months were month 1 is gold, month 2 is red, because I wanted them all like, I wanted it to go metallic, chromatic. Yeah. So gold to mark the start of the year. This is my reasoning here. 1 gold to start the year. 2 red, second only to gold. 3 bronze, the oceanic dragon for the coming of rains. 4 green, the green of spring. 5 brass, fire-breathing desert dragon for the heat of summer. 6 blue, desert dragon still summer, lightning to signify the coming autumn weather. 7 copper, the copper and green wings to match the changing of the leaves, harvest time. 8 white, the beginning of winter, beginning to preserve food for the next month. 9 silver, height of winter but very cheerful due to holidays. 10 black, death of the year. And that is my dragon calendar that I made.
This girl's gonna make me open my fucking calendar world building.
We talking about D&D calendars today, boys. It's a fun topic.
It's one of those things that you're working on your campaigns and you're like, oh, fuck, right, yeah, I should work on one.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things you don't
really
you
think
kind
about
of put off, and then you just have to make some arbitrary choices.
Yeah, when I go to shows and like...
Still haven't decided how many moons Amazius has. I think I've said 1.
Mine's got 2. And they have a teeny amount of lore as well. My lore has a lot of crossover with Faerun lore because I'm a basic bitch and I just steal a lot of stuff from D&D, hence why it's like, oh, 10 months for the 10 types of dragons, even though I could have more dragons and probably will have more dragons.
Oh, right, I'm dumb. Yeah, my months do have reasonings for them.
Ay.
Betower is Tonos. Anez, Renchas. Armis is Asana. Antis, Masan, I believe. Anvis is... Where's Anvis, Masan? I've forgotten which way around it is. Like, Anvis is... no, Fulton Anvis. I can't remember, but they're the twins. I can't remember around they are. And then Famine. It's just Famine. Or is it? But then the weekdays are the big ones, because Masan has 7 eyes. There are 7 days of the week.
Ay.
It's the Masanian calendar because it's originally used for priests of Masan, because Masan's priests operate by a very rigorous schedule to do with prophecy. So it's Verax, which is the day of truth, DC, which is the day of knowledge, Esther, which is the day of honesty, Tudim, which is the day of tradition, which is the day of dreams, which is the first day of rest, is like my weekend. Azari, which is for stars, which is also the second day of rest, and then Guri is the day of prophecy.
Hey.
Around like that.
Yeah. Making a calendar is fun.
It is.
And back when we used to do shows, and sometimes people would be like, you know, oh, do you have any advice? Because obviously we sell a lot of D&D stuff, so inevitably conversation would...
Choices and commit.
a lot of conversations would always start about like, oh, do you DM? Do you have any advice? I'm thinking about starting a game. And I'm like, well, I'm sure if you go up and look up advice for DMing and stuff, you'll find a lot of the same thing. So the bit of advice that I give that I've never seen on like a list or a video is make a calendar and like either print it out or digitally have a copy of it and fill it in like you are keeping a real life calendar. So fill in events that happen on different days and things like that, and then you can mark things off so that if an MP says in 5 days time this will happen, you can put a little star on the block to go, this has been 5 days. And I say, it's like, you don't have to make your own, just, you know, use Earth's calendar if you want and just copy it, but making your own is fun.
Yes, it is. Recommend for people in chat, if you're looking for a resource, I use the Donjon fantasy calendar generator, which is so useful. It shows you can tell it how many moons you have, and it'll put in phases of the moon. You tell it what year it is, put in all your months and days, and it'll adjust everything for you.
Hell yeah, I love that.
And it has made my life so much easier.
I love that feature so much because I was able to, like, again, I physically printed out the calendar and had it in my book, and as just flicking through, I was able to be like, oh, it's a double full moon tonight, so lore to do with druids and the full moon, because one of my party members was a druid. Oh, Jack. Hello, Core.
Me looking at Faerun's lack of moon lore. Pathetic. I am here to help. Sweats at my lack of moon lore. I do have moon lore, it's just you're not in the place where the moon lore is, so I don't engage with it.
Yeah, I literally looked at Faerun's lack of moon lore and I was like, okay, I'm gonna
cowards.
I'm gonna change that a little bit.
I would recommend people having like something like this. I'm looking at visual representation. If you're like me and you really struggle to conceptualize time, I struggle to remember what my D&D party did on which days, for example, which is why a lot tends to happen in like 2 or 3 days in my campaign, because I'm like, oh yeah, this is the same day, I just forgot. Just helps to have it laid out. It also really emphasizes, like, I think this has been pointed out many times across many campaigns, both streamed and otherwise. D&D campaigns are hilarious because kind of have like fairy tale rules in that everything happens in a hilariously short amount of time. It's like it's like if you don't have like actual story time breaks, it's like, oh, this entire campaign happened in like 2 months.
Looks at blood and sand.
Yeah, like it's like insane. Well, I mean, like even Oakheart started on the 1st of Fulton, which means it's been only 2 months.
Wild.
Everything that's ever happened in Oakheart.
Yeah, which is why when we were doing the low levels in my homebrew campaign,
my months are 49 days, so bear that in mind.
When I was doing my homebrew game in my homebrew world, I was almost making a point to like pad out the start and to be like, you know, oh, you spend 4 days traveling, and I cross down 4 days, and then it's like, oh, you spend a day in the town and you do this, you do that, and you have a long rest, and I'm like, okay, another day's done, and you spend another day in the town. And all of these quests they were doing, I made a point so that it was like, oh, by the time they hit level 5 and stuff, I actually was able to look back and I've been like, you guys have known each other for 2 months and you've been travelling together for 2 months, so you do know each other fairly well now at this point. And
one fight IRL time an hour, in-game time about a minute. Yeah. The craziest fights I've ever seen in D&D took place over like 30 seconds.
All my blinds done. Yeah. There is not a lot of
so close to famine, and
there is not a lot of Faerun lore on moons, and I do not have a lot of lore for my moons, but I based it partially off Faerun because that was it. So literally, just I decided to have 2 moons. One moon is rather childishly named Selûne. It is the smaller moon. It has the quicker cycle of the 2, named after Selûne, the goddess of the moon. The second moon is called Habak. It is the larger one, has a slower cycle. It is named for Habakkuk, the god of animal life and the sea. The 2 share the night sky because of the bond they share, thanks to druids of the moon and moons controlling the ocean.
Very nice.
So two gods that share a bond via the moons, and that's it.
I have a moon. Be honest, the most of what I know about the moon is because in Aramor, which is door to you guys right now, on the same continent that you guys are on. You're in the Resting Lands. Aramor is this guy, big guy. Aramor, they worship sun, the moon, the earth, and sky. So most of my knowledge of like the mythology around the moon comes from that religion, other than any other understanding. I've done a lot of building outside that because I haven't needed to. Other than the moon birth, obviously that's a massive thing that just came up.
Yeah.
It's a. Oh, actually, I don't know how much was conveyed about that, so I won't say that. Mind. Can't remember how much Das told you. But that's the thing. I didn't come up with that because of moon. I think about that differently. I know you told me how. Did you tell them the moon birth does? Geography-wise, yes. Okay, I'm gonna take Das's word for it. I'm about to break some news.
Oh.
Yeah. During the meeting, okay. Yeah, the moon birth. The thing about the moon birth is that instead of it being a full moon with a high tide, it's an exceptionally low tide. For some reason, it's just one of those. Yeah, the fun thing about making up world lore is you can come up with like fun especially if you've got magic. You can be like, this is just a weird mystical occurrence that probably has some historical root somewhere back there. Now it's just a weird thing that happens. So yeah, the moon birth is a moon in famine. It's not always the same day. It's not the same day every year. And it's a full moon where the water goes way out instead of high. Una reverse card on your water.
Una reverse. Random Pokemon time. Furret? Hell yeah, I love this boy.
Oh boy.
I love this boy. Nobody gonna break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. Oh no, I've got to keep on moving.
Good vibing. Pure vibes in this here stream.
It's just a video. It was just that music playing over a video of Furret walking, and now every time I see Furret, I just think of that song.
Tell you, I've cursed myself with. I've been listening to the merry-go-round theme from Howl.
Oh no.
You know. But there's a piece of piano in the back. For some reason, it's the same melody as the bit from A Little Priest from Sweeney Todd. Trouble with poet is how do you know it's deceased? Try the priest. And then just in here, every time I was listening to it, I just like sung those words over it. Thanks, Sondheim. I won't listen to Sweeney Todd, basically. Do this. I know how to write words. Listening to suitably sad music. Let's do this. this friend that you're drawing. It's friend shaped and you barely started.
I know. It's got a head and a line, and yet it is friend shaped.
Yeah.
Love Furret so much. I'm glad that he's a fairly simple boy as well.
Yeah. Quick and simple boy.
Yeah. Can thank Pokemon Colosseum for my love of Furret. Because someone early on in the game has one, and obviously the whole plot of like Colosseum is that you are like a good guy, bad guy. You steal Pokemon, but you steal them from bad people. And one of the first ones that you steal is a Furret, and for some reason it's like really goddamn tanky and like strong.
Yeah, I was gonna say my conception of Furret is like one of those really cute Pokemon that just absolutely wrecks house.
Yeah, it's one of the.
So the Pachirisu.
Yeah, I remember the Furret in the game, like in one of my first playthroughs of it, just being like a really, really hard fight for some reason.
Yeah. It just hits so hard, and it's just like cute and smiling at you.
Yeah. I just opened Furret's Wikipedia page and it says Furret, the long body Pokemon. I literally thought that it said a long boy.
The long boy Pokemon.
Long boy.
Does Furret evolve?
No, it evolves from Sentret. It's the 2-stage.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's weird because like I had like a Sentret and a Furret in like Pokemon Gold, and I didn't remember them being that strong, but like. Yeah. I guess it was one of those ones where it's like, you have a Sentret, and then once it was evolved to Furret, it was like, oh, well, I've done it for the Pokedex, so I'm just going to swap it for something now.
Yeah.
But in Colosseum, when it's like the very start of the game, and you're fighting this Furret, it's like, what the fuck? Why? Strong boy.
Hello, I'm Floof. Please make crepes for death. I think, it might be, I used to watch, what's the, like, online Pokemon battling browser Pokemon battling thing that people use for, like, practicing for competitive?
I don't remember its name, but I know the one you're referring to.
Y'all will know if you Google it. I watched, for a while, Strippin, it's always Strippin, got really into, like, on that and trying to make really competitive teams. And I can't remember, I think there used to be some kind of strat with Furret. Just like you'd see Furret come out and be like, no! It's like every time you saw the weird orangutan.
Oh god, Oranguru.
You'd be like, oh no! Orangu and Smeagol, or whatever it is, Smeagol? That's the fucking thing. Smeagol. You know what I mean. Paintbrush.
Smeagol.
Smeagol, there you go. See? I was close!
You're close.
Not even a syllable off, like a sound off.
I googled Pokemon Colosseum Furret, and the second like video is literally someone's playthrough that says Pokemon Colosseum Episode 4 Tough Furret.
Furret.
Like, why was this Furret so strong?
Why is Furret? Why?
Is that the first thing that comes up? Sanji's here with a health
Would recommend googling why is Pokemon name, because the top ones that come up, him. Why is Furret illegal? Why is Furret a meme? Why is Furret so tall?
Why is Furret so popular? Because it's a good boy.
It's a good boy.
They're good Pokemon, Brent.
It is Furret illegal. Okay, we're on a tangent. We're going health check by Stanji. Get back on track. The first thing that comes up is low tier legends.
It's
just a picture of Furret with like low tier legends. Oh, it's because it can learn Baton Pass. Agility, Baton Pass, knock off, and return. The abilities people put on it, apparently. It's just a little buff boy. And then get out of there. What's the best possible team I can make with 6 Furrets? My little brother said he'd only battle me if I used a team of 6 Furrets. Why is this the longest Reddit thread I've ever seen? Sorry, this is hilarious. I was today years old when I learned that Furret can learn Toxic. Why?
There's probably a YouTube video somewhere about why I can learn that. It's just one of those goddamn normal Pokemon where it's like by leveling up they just learn like normal moves like Quick Attack and Fury Swipes and Helping Hand, but then you look at their TM list and it's like literally on the Bulbapedia page.
It's like Dragon Strike.
Focus Punch, Water Pulse, Sunny Day, Ice Beam, Blizzard, Hyper Beam, Rain Dance, Solar Beam, Iron Tail, Thunderbolt, Dig, Shadow Ball, Brick Break, Flamethrower. Focus
I honestly
Blast.
can't tell you what I would do if I used Hyper Beam on me. I'd be like, you know what, fair enough.
Surf! Why can Furret just learn like almost anything?
You should know this Reddit thread also has cons, no bulk. Offenses are going to get you absolutely nowhere when it's all you have to work with. Pros, it's cute, maybe your opponent will forfeit.
Forfeit.
Best part about Furret is that Blue might finish the warm-up before the end of the stream.
Shut up, Core!
Roasted.
Just because I was tabbed out and reading more about Furret instead of drawing.
If you're sketching today as well, you've got no excuse, you can't even colour it.
Yeah, no, I wasn't actually planning on colouring it, that is one benefit.
Furret learn roast. Oh, roost. I thought that said roast.
It does say roast.
Oh, I fucking can't read, I'm illiterate.
It does say roast.
You can learn roast, apparently.
It can learn Sunny Day, followed by freaking Flamethrower, so yes. As
far as the eye can see. Oh my god, Blue, we should tell them about what we realised about
yes.
you knew me.
I have been thinking about that so much. You do not understand how much I was thinking about my revelation.
So chat. Context. There's a very, very good person on Twitter who you should not look up if you are not up to date on Final Fantasy. Who is done over Warrior of Light interview for the last like 2 months, basically leading up to Endwalker. And one of the questions they asked was what type of Pokemon, basically like the classic Pokemon question. You know, if you're, I'll find the actual wording, but it was basically like, if your Pokemon was Elite Four or Gym Leader, what would their team be? What type would they train? And what would their like companion Pokemon be?
Yeah, you know, the typical.
And I ran this past Blue because I answered before consulting her.
It's the typical. You know, we've done this 100 times on the stream of, you know, what Pokemon would your OC have?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy edition.
And I said, the ultimate Iphignia Pokemon is Lunala, but obviously you can't just have Lunala. But gives us typing, right? So either ghost or psychic. I can really see her as a companion Pokemon having a Gardevoir because they're very similar in terms of vibes. Which meant Blue was like, oh, the psychic fits better.
Yeah, psychic is the choice.
Great, and then we went from there.
Yeah, so
X is obvious.
Yeah, so I went. It feels kind of obvious to make X a dragon type, but honestly, I do think it is the best one that suits her. And I was stuck for ages trying to think of what Pokemon she would have, and I didn't even really fully come to a decision like a regular Pokemon. I didn't come to a decision on a regular Pokemon because I had the list of dragon types up, and I had a galaxy brain moment where I went, oh my god, if Exeter is dragon type and if Ignea is psychic type, then they can both have Latios and Latias.
Then I realized that Latios and Latias are blue and red. So are Zephyr and Achilles, our respective Chocobos. So basically,
we need Zephyr and Achilles, the Latios and Latias.
Yeah. That was our amazing. I can't believe we didn't plan this Pokemon revelation. No, did not coordinate on any of that, but it fell into place over the course of an evening.
We were just like, oh my god, it's perfect.
We were doing other things as well. It's not like we were even primarily thinking about that.
Yeah, we weren't even.
And every stage of it was like an hour apart. Like, oh, X would be a dragon trainer. Latios and Latias are a psychic dragon. They're red and blue. Achilles and Zephyr are red and blue.
I don't think I told you this when we were talking because I had the revelation later, but afterwards I came to the conclusion that out of all of the dragon types, I think maybe Haxorus would be X's.
The good call for vision.
Because blades.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Yeah, that boy.
It's like a Yu-Gi-Oh card, to be honest.
It does, doesn't it? It's a bit out of there.
It has Yu-Gi-Oh vibes.
I was like,
okay.
Potentially Dragonair, but if we're going to go for like fully evolved, because I don't think Dragonite would be quite her thing. So it would be Dragonair or maybe Haxorus.
Dragonite's kind of too wholesome.
Yeah, he's a little too cuddly. Like, arguably, even though the general is like, trying to, one for legendary, but one for regular Pokemon. I was like, Latios really fits her very well, actually.
Yeah, Lunala fits the best, but all the Chocobos. I love your ideas here. This wasn't even like, we didn't come up with this. Like, this is just a series of things that made sense.
It was
like,
a series of
it's
revelations.
like a logical train of things that just added up. It's not even like we invented any of it. So I think I've realized since our conversation that Psychic fits Ignea better. It does. The color palette wise, Psychic Pokemon fit her better.
Yeah. I think also just like lore wise, a lot of Psychic types do any Pokemon that has like vague astrology links does tend to have the Psychic typing.
I don't know why I have this perception of Gardevoir. Like, Gardevoir / Gallade is another one of those Pokemon that I'm like, every time you encounter them, you're like, it's gonna kick my ass. So I just love this idea of like, if Ignea doesn't battle really, but then like she gets in, like in the anime, right? She's like a side character. Then just like, like some convoluted events means that someone challenges her and she just like looks at the Gardevoir and the Gardevoir looks at her and she's like
I suppose I guess Exa could have a Garchomp now I think about it.
Garchomp also works really well.
Garchomp probably actually fits a little bit better. I'd originally discarded it because of the ground typing, but now that I'm thinking about the visual of Garchomp of like
you know what they say about Dragoon?
The thanks, yeah.
They are floor tanks.
No, now that I'm thinking about the visuals of the blue and like the bladed arms and the sort of like missile-like head.
Yeah.
Plus, that means that we can have Mega Gardevoir and Mega Garchomp.
I'm just saying, we have to be minor characters, otherwise we'd be the most powerful people in the Pokemon universe.
Do you imagine encountering a double battle and they and
Mega Gardevoir.
Mega Gardevoir,
You
Mega
just
Gardevoir. Just desperately try to run away from battle, and the game's just like, there's no fleeing from a trainer battle.
There's no fleeing.
You would just be like, oh no.
Because you're not meant to fight us. You have to like really bother them. Like you have to keep talking to them over and over again to get the combat, and then they're like, "Are you sure?"
Just the text that pops up: power couple, Extra and Evignia would like to battle. And then they send a fucking Mega Garchomp and Mega Gardevoir.
Followed by a Latios
and a Latias.
Oh my god. That's their only Pokemon, but like, holy shit. Or like, they do the Latias and Latias first, and you're like, what the fuck? They have 2 legendaries, and you get through that, and you're like, oh, thank god, it's Mega Garchomp.
Mega Garchomp. I am so glad that Mega Evolution is not in Diamond and Pearl, because could you imagine trying to face Cynthia's Garchomp and it fucking Mega Evolves?
Fair.
It's hard enough already without Mega Evolution.
The dreaded optional boss that the game makes you really work to find. I just also love that idea of like, you hear about this like secret battle and you try really hard to do it, and you like do all these things, and then you actually get it and you're like, I've made a mistake.
Yeah, like when you find Red for the first time and it's like, oh, this guy has level 80 Pokemon? The Elite Four was level 50!
Evignia, though, like, on the general in Pokemon would be one of the NPCs you go and talk to heal their Pokemon mid.
Yeah. Oh my god, like, is his name Riley? In Diamond and Pearl, the guy with the Lucario on the Iron Island, is it Riley? He looks like Sir Aaron, but his name isn't Sir
Yes!
Aaron. Aw, thank you, Core. Thank you for subbing, I always appreciate it. Yeah, like Riley, so you go out into an area and she's just there and she's like, oh, I'll keep you company and I'll keep your Pokemon healed up, and then you go into a battle with her and she sends out Gardevoir. You're like, why do you need company? You're protecting me!
Yeah, the double battle. Like, just had that? Is like one leader that's like right at the end, but you see them throughout the game all the time with their companion Pokemon, and then you do like some kind of plot important at the top of some kind of tower or some shit, and she's like, no, I will go with you, and you're like, okay, and this Pokemon comes out and you're like, oh shit, okay. Thinking of specifically thinking of X and Y with the person with the Lucarios. For some reason. Like continually showing up with like 2 Lucarios and you're like, oh!
Okay. I'm wondering if Shredane would be Dark type. I don't know.
Ooh, spicy take.
Because I know he's Dark Knight, but that's not the same as the Dark type, because they're different. This is me flexing my Pokemon muscles.
We said we weren't going to talk about Pokemon.
I mean, I'm still drawing for it, so I feel okay talking about Pokemon.
I agree to this as a compromise because I'm writing about Final Fantasy. So. Go on then, since you seem to have a thesis going. If not Dark, then what?
Well, the thing, I don't know what it could be. I just feel like Dark isn't necessarily the perfect fit. It would probably be Steel or Fighting, I suppose. Hey! Hey, Chaotix! I didn't expect to see you here. I thought you'd be in VR chat.
Hey, what's up?
So my thought process for this is that in Pokemon, the Dark type is primarily 2 things. It is obviously Pokemon who are sort of dark, nocturnal, things like that. You are in VR chat. I expect nothing less. But the other main thing that the dark type is underhanded and dirty fighting, which Tradain does not do. He is honourable. So, honourable Pokemon is definitely either fighting or steel. Fighting especially, but steel falls in there as well. Which is why I also associate fighting and steel with Thane, for those same reasons. Which is why you have things like, you know, Sirfetch'd is a fighting type because he's the Noble Knight. You have Phalanx, who are meant to be like little soldiers. So they're the fighting type. You know, Grapploct is a wrestler, things like that. You got, you know, Crabrawler as a boxer, things like that. Pancham is the mix of the two. He evolves into Pangoro, who is fighting and dark, because Pangoro is a mob boss, essentially, Pokemon. So he's good at fighting, but he is underhanded and uses dirty strats. So that is my opinion of why I don't think Tradain is dark type, because he is not an underhanded fighter. That's my Pokemon spicy take.
Welcome for coming to Blue's essay.
Yeah. This microphone's off. This microphone.
Yeah, different mic is happening.
Yeah, this microphone isn't the one I'm using. I have a desk mic, which is down here. I don't want to touch it because touching it will turn it on. But it's just there it is. It's this fella here. Just there.
Then would have a Gallade? Maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Gallade reads.
Gallade does read.
Brain went straight to Cinderace, but that's just because Bunny.
Bunny.
By that logic, Gwen is more of a dark trainer? I would agree.
Yeah.
Balion's a good call as well.
See, Cobalion for me is the Thane Pokemon, in my opinion.
Did think of Cinderace, honestly.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thanks. Hopefully I'll be seeing you in VR this weekend, Bud. Fingers crossed. I really hope that I will be. I'm getting distracted by Pokemon.
Many things. Okay, right. I'm gonna force end the Pokemon chat.
Oh,
I'm forcing the end.
Oh,
Because I'm gonna ask you another question about one of your interests.
Is it D&D?
Yes. Because I see you are approaching the end of the forest, as it were. What? That is like a saying. You're approaching the end of the forest.
End of the forest. So, do you think that's a saying in the Pokemon world?
It is now. Now we're approaching the end of the forest. I'm just gonna keep saying it.
Okay.
What are you drawing?
Right, okay, new document, because Ferret has reached the end. We're not going to be colouring Ferret today.
We have reached the end of the forest.
We've reached the end of the Ferret. Okay, so today I am going to be drawing the characters that I got to play at this weekend for a D&D game. It was the first D&D game that we've played at a table since the world caught fire.
Heard a rumor that you played. I know this is going to be scandalous, but I heard a rumor that you played a kobold.
Maybe played a kobold.
Maybe you played a kobold.
Maybe I played a kobold. I played Ishka.
Yeah.
I played Ishka, the Drake Warden kobold, and I had an amazingly fun time. It was a great game. I absolutely loved it. We achieved next to nothing, and we played for probably for about 6 hours. And we achieved
as D&D is meant to be played.
We achieved next to nothing. Ishka was just a friendly little girl who just was very happy to be there and really liked her new friends that she'd made, even though this random dwarf kept glaring at her for some reason. But she didn't care, she just kept waving and just being like, "Hi, Aw, thanks for following, mate. Mwah. So, Ishka. Little baby.
Little baby.
Yeah, so I'm gonna draw a moment from this game, which was Ishka and Aslana, who is a Leonin sorcerer.
Yep. I don't know what that means.
Leonin is the lion race. It's one of the. It's from.
Definitely. I always want to say the Final Fantasy name.
It's Hrothgar. No, it's. It was. Theros. It was one of the Theros.
Yeah,
races.
I know they exist. Yeah, I do want to play one actually.
Yeah, Marsh played one. Cool.
Thank you, sub. Woo.
Woo! You gotta get the woos. Otherwise, what's the point? You gotta
What
use...
is the point
You got
if
to
not
have
for
the
awoos? I do not have the awoos, but I do have this boy. I say, putting the wrong emote in. Bam.
Acceptable.
I do not have a woo, but I can compensate with this little JC.
Little JC is acceptable. So yeah, Mersh played a Leonin, and it was totally random. I literally had the D&D Beyond list of races on my phone, and she was like, "I'm playing a sorcerer. Blue, pick me a race." So I literally on my phone just went scroll up, scroll down, scroll up, scroll down. And I was like, and I just went say when, and she had when, and I stopped, and my finger was on Leonin, and I was like, "Oh, I've never seen one of these in action before." So she played a Leonin. So while shenanigans were happening with other players, as in Spook and Stanji decided to get into a brawl against each other in a ring against each other.
Nice.
Bets were being taken, so I bet on Spook to win, and Debbie bet on Stanji to win.
Actually.
So shenanigans started happening of people casting spells.
Yeah, cheating.
When obviously
blatantly
cheating when obviously we shouldn't, and the sort of I was about to say moderator. Jesus Christ.
Read chat.
I live on the internet too much. The referee kept pausing the game because they were detecting spells happening, and so we were battling each other. So Debbie was giving Stanji inspiration and trying to heal him, and after a while Ishka, my character, was getting angry that they were interfering, so I snuck up behind them, being 2 foot tall as a kobold, and I was I just crouched down and I touched the bottom of their boot and I cast silence on their boot and then I walk away. So we couldn't cast any spells. But of course, the moment that it's a 20-foot radius, so everybody was like, "Oh, the sound's all gone," so end the fight and stuff. So I was like, it's fine.
It's fine. Oh, this is a great spell. Thank you for the gift sub.
There's so many subs happening that a hype train is apparently going to start. I've never seen a hype train before.
Get us.
Look at all you guys being so sweet.
Have the woos now.
You gotta have the woos.
No, I can't click them because mod view. Because I agree. That's fine. I just have to make chat way bigger than I normally have it. There it is.
Move the microphone a little bit.
It's a mod. I don't have spam rules attached, so.
We have unleashed that. Woo!
Immune to law.
So anyway,
the rules of this place do not apply to me. I'm a co-host.
So what then happened is when the fight got put on pause, and they went around and checked people, and nobody got found out. So they were like, "Okay, we're going to start again." So we tried to do a little bit more of we're not going to intervene and stuff. So what happened was that Marsh's character came over to my character and was like, "How about we just come over here and chill?" Keeping in mind that in the lore of the game, these characters had met maybe an hour ago. So Ishka was like, "Heck yeah, yeah." She's like, come on, I found somewhere cool to sit by the arena. So we sat and sat and watched the rest of the fight. And we were like, this chair is like kind of hollow. Cool, we can like play it like bongos. So we started like tapping on the desk like we were playing a couple of bongos. I thought
that's what you were drawing. I was like, huh.
Like we were playing a couple of bongos, and then of course we knew this out of character. In character it was then revealed that the thing we were sitting on was in fact the shell of another player who was playing a Tortle.
Sweet turtles. Turtles are so good. I keep being like, oh, I want to play this, I want to play this. I'm playing a changeling. I can play all of these if I want.
Technically, yes.
Back to Turtle and, I'm just gonna call them Hrothgar because I don't remember their name. Actually be better for Pox because she's bad at wings. As I've established. A meme, but I've established nonetheless. Yeah, you'd probably be good at shells. I think I'd enjoy a turtle. I think everyone could enjoy a turtle. I can't imagine a world where anyone would play a turtle and be like, this sucks. Just a turtle person.
Platypus was great. He thoroughly aggravated an NPC because he was so confident that he was basically unkillable because he was like, if I retract into my shell, I have 21 AC. So he was just like, I cannot be killed.
I am immune to death.
And of course Spook had to prove a point, so he was just like, cool, I'm a barbarian, I'm raging, I recklessly attack, he rolls dice, I roll a 23, I hit you, and Platypus just sort of blinked at him. Aha, he was playing a monk, evasion. He's playing a monk, evasion. I see your fireball and I laugh.
Ha 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 ha. I think the only thing with me, I'm a massive... Some of you know this. I'm revealing personal information. I'm a massive TMNT fan. So I don't know if I could play a turtle that wasn't just Donatello. Or one of them, you know? Probably end up being Donatello or Raphael or Spira.
You can tell that we didn't do much the entire session, considering that we were all just like, oh, we get to play this, we get to play this, and we're gonna do this. We didn't have combat for 6 hours. We had the arena, but that was PvP. That was Spook fighting Stanji. We didn't have actual D&D combat.
Brilliant. So Mikey, you can take Mikey because Michelangelo is the worst Ninja Turtle, and you can quote on that.
Hot takes. Hot takes happening.
This is how I lose friends.
Hot takes are happening in my stream.
That's probably how. Let's be fair, Artificer Turtle Armorer would be a pretty sick Donatello build. Let's land the best younger brother of the squad. Will, and I'll do it again. Sucks. Doesn't suck. He doesn't suck, that's too far. But he is worse than all the others. Leonardo sim, but still. Of course you are. Of course you are! Donatello Raphael person. So of course I am. Donatello is best by a long way, and then it's Raphael and Leo, which are pretty close together. And depending on when you ask me, I put one above the other. And Mikey's at the bottom. He sucks.
Let's get these guys put on separate layers before I get too deep into this.
You know when you put a takeout into the universe and you're like, I shouldn't have done that.
Extra spicy.
Delete tweet.
So yeah, it was very hilarious because yes, it went exactly as you think it does with the name of a Leonin sorcerer called Aslana.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, so you're Aslan, but female, and she went yes, and so I went
Jesus Christ? Canonically Jesus Christ?
So I was just like, oh, is it Aslana? And she was like, yeah, and immediately wrote that down on her character sheet. But then later on, when we were talking to these said NPCs that were getting angry with us, we were like, don't tell them our real names. So Passes was like, I'm Bob. And then he gestures at Marsh, and you can tell he's desperately trying to think, and he goes, this is Aslan. And we were just like, that's actually her name. And he went, what? You're like, that's actually her name.
I'd love to run Narnia and D&D. Just say that.
Squeak!
Yeah, sorry. I put my mute for that.
We had a great time, and I felt really bad for Trips because you could tell that he'd tried to really hard to like write an interesting
plan
something, and write a really interesting story, and we were just like going off on the rails, just like, nah, man.
Can't plan shit, man.
I ended up making friends with a little fairy. I mean, literally, like a fairy, like a little, like 2-inch tall fairy.
Yeah.
He was like somebody's like assistant, like she had a clipboard and was writing
someone's familiar or something.
He's literally like an assistant with a clipboard of like, I have to get Mrs. Dry Cleaning done for 5 and her appointment for 6. And my kobold character literally, when she fluttered over to a table to get a snack and top up her drink, so my little kobold literally climbed on top of the table and stood on the table and was like, can I fill up your drink, ma'am? And then just started talking to her, and she just started basically bitching to me about her work, of just like, I love working for these people, but oh my god, they're just
this is what
so bitchy. And I was like, no, tell me more. And I was just like trying to placate this pixie with drink.
What I love about D&D, you can plan a whole one-shot, but players will still love dicking around the most. Like, it's like, I just want to talk to people and fuck around with a fight. Menaces.
It was very fun. I was just like, no! Well, you're like the prettiest person in this room. And she's like, oh no, stop it. And I'm like, I'm being honest. You're so pretty. Like your wings. And
drunk girls in the bathroom.
Yeah. but like shit talking all of the other people at the party.
It's also drunk girl in bathroom culture.
Literally. Except I was sober. She definitely wasn't, because I was giving her drink. Because eventually I was like, cool, so now that I literally leaned over the chips, I was like, cool, so now basically that she's my friend, I'm gonna try and ask her as many questions as possible about this event that we're at.
Pressing the plot through your mischief.
And then we talked about a table for half an hour. Not with the pixie. Not with the pixie, the players. Players in like this really imposing office, like this freaking like oval office place, this big long desk, and this guy sat at the desk with like his fingers steepled, trying to basically intimidate us into doing a job for him. And we were just like, this desk is like really nice. The mahogany, wow. That's so nice. You know, stuff like this should belong in a museum, and you just have this in your office. Wow, that's really splashing out, man.
I wish I could edit video, because I would make a whole compilation of just D&D being about furniture somehow. I have not watched a D&D campaign, I feel, that didn't at some point just have some kind of issue or fixation on furniture. These corners horn gremlins might be getting us, but these tables.
We all just went into it. I was like, well, because I'm 2 feet, I can see underneath the desk, so I'm like, somebody stuck gum under here. You should probably investigate about that. That's going to ruin the varnish. And everybody just leapt onto it, just like, yeah, you should get your guards in here. It was probably one of them. You should ask them about it. And you could just see this vein throbbing in the side of his head. I felt so bad, but also it was so funny.
It was such a good time, yeah.
I literally said it, and I was like, I swear I haven't laughed this hard in months. My jaw was aching.
Oh my god. Fucking excellent.
And then when the guards do come in and they're trying to be intimidating, we're just like, do you guys know how much this guy earns? I mean, look at his desk. That's an expensive desk, just like in his office. Like, how much are you guys getting paid? Do you have a union? We should
have a union. Comrade guard.
Literally. And then literally like leaping on every single word that gets said as soon as the NPC is like, look, you have come into possession of this information through no fault of your own, but now I need you to do this. And I was like, aha, you said that it was through no fault of our own, so you have therefore absolved us of all claims and we can leave freely. Your words, not mine.
Oh,
they turn around and leave. The guard blocks the door. Damn it!
I'm 2 foot tall. I go under his leg. My god.
That is so much chaos in one group. It was so funny.
That is a very chaotic group, to be fair.
It is a very chaotic group, but it's so fun.
You hear that, people in that group? Y'all are chaotic as fuck.
We know.
We know, but hey.
We know, but we don't care.
You shouldn't. I think I might take a quick break.
Fair.
I think I need a drink, because I am, like, struggling to stay awake.
Get yourself a
I'll
coffee.
Be back in just a moment. Then I will actually do more shit. I'm back.
It's just me, chat. Let's turn that off. There we go. Whew. Hiccups now. I don't have a drink. I will have to top up my drink when Kels comes back. Oh, nice, cool. You'll get, the quest that Spook wants to do is MR 100. When you hit MR 99, go speak to Mercer and he will give you a, assignment to hunt Avery and Nergigante. That's the MR cap, so you'll get capped at 99. I know this because, I just did it myself. Well, I just got the quest, I haven't done the quest yet, so we could potentially do the quest together. Can't fight this feeling, it's not in my head. Not known for something I did, baby. Can't fight this feeling, I'm out of control. Got to get back to the life that I know. I'm not freaking out, but if the same time is coming out, how did this shit come about? I'm not freaking out, but I'm afraid of losing you. Ooh, is this what it comes to be? Is this what it comes to be? It's all you gotta say to me. Is this what it comes to, baby? It's all you gotta say to me. It's not in my head, not known for something I did, baby. Got to get back to the life that I know. Is this what it comes to be? Is this what it comes to, baby? Show me the beans. Big beans. Excuse me while I check something. Joys of outfits and not really knowing what I'm doing, but just kind of throwing stuff at a canvas to see what sticks.
Hello?
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 Josh?
Hey, Mersh! Look who it is! It's the girls!
Actually, embrace yourself.
Oh.
Make coffee.
Sacrilegious.
There's tea. Actually drinking tea for once. Literally own a little box of like 10 tea bags. Which I basically only own if you or my dad ever comes around.
Is that a promise?
Basically only happened for that purpose, but I was like, you know what? I don't want like a coffee amount of caffeine, but I do want some. And you know what? Tea's not as bad as I remember.
Yeah! Yeah, duh! Do you think I'd inhale it by the bucket load if it tasted bad?
No, just like, I'm weird, man. I'm not saying you have bad taste, I'm saying I have bad taste. Everyone who I'm close to in my life drinks like an absurd amount of tea.
To raise this a little.
Realize now that I've got like special writer's blend tea, a proper beastly beverage writer's tea.
Hey!
I make it because I'm a fool. It's also very good, to be fair.
Behold, this giant woman.
Giant woman.
Giant woman. Oh,
On my Spotify.
Sadie screeching.
Ooh, there she is. I don't know why recently my Spotify liked is like, hey, do you want to, whenever you just put your likes on shuffle, do you want to listen to stuff that was on Glory's playlist? I'm like, I don't know why you're in this mood. But I keep getting, Warrior Girl from Storytime. which spiritually is on the same vein as Giant Woman to me. I love the eyes in the shell.
Yeah, it really sets off the piece, doesn't it?
Context. Okay.
I personally am a big fan of how big Ishka is in comparison to Aslana. Because
literally the size of a forearm.
Because Ishka was 2'10", I believe, was the height I wrote down, and Aslana was 7 foot something, 8 foot something.
And to be big.
Yeah, they are a tall race.
Yeah. Hrothgar.
Squeenix, Wizards of the Coast. Giant lions.
Giant lion people. Doing a lot of war stuff recently, so I'm in a Hrothgar mood.
See, when I first started playing
7-2.
When I first started playing Final Fantasy, I was like, oh man, there isn't a female Hrothgar, but now I'm like,
yeah.
Now I like can't picture Exa as anything else, so I wouldn't change her.
No. It's the same with Iffy. There was one of the interview questions that was going around that was like, if you could have your Warrior of Light as like any other fantasy race from like any other fantasy media, do you? And I was like, kind of no. Even because we talked about it in D&D, right?
Yeah.
It was like Dragonborn or Tiefling. Both doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because we made our characters for Final Fantasy, it's hard to picture them as anything else.
In any other context. Excuse me?
7'2".
Big.
Large lady. See, now I gotta open up the size comparison.
The height comparison.
Yeah, the height comparison.
So funny. Bertha Trodane. And they've got bunny now. Bunny people exist, rabbit folk exist now.
Yeah, what's their name again?
Rabbit folk.
No, they have like a name.
They?
Yeah, they do.
Who gets there first?
Harengon.
Oh, okay.
Or Harengon, I suppose, is what it would be. Because buns.
There's a joke there about being hair and back again.
So, let's see, 7'2".
I'm putting this up on mine as well.
In comparison to 2'10". Oh my goodness!
Let's put it on the stream.
And print screen. Actually, no, don't print screen because you'll see all my other stuff. Where's Push? Push is probably my best bet.
Ah. This is why we work so well together. What were you, 2'5"?
I'm 2'10", I believe, was what I wrote on my character sheet.
It's like mid thigh.
It's so good. There you go, chat. There is the height comparison between someone who was 7'2" and someone who was 2'10". We're back in Hadrian and Sarah territory, my dudes.
Yeah.
This is Hadrian and Sarah all over again. It's not even waist, it is mid-thigh. Yeah, I didn't even tell the story of me and Marsh distracting the guard. We said afterwards that it was perfect because if the two of us approach an NPC and we're both standing together, the NPC either has to look down to look at Ishka or look up to look at Aslana, and thus can't look at both of them simultaneously unless they take a step back. So Ishka was talking to the guard, asking if we could like go up, and they were like, what family are you with? And while Ishka was talking to him, Aslana was using Mage Hand to literally stole a piece of paper from his clipboard that was just kind of hanging down at his side in his hand, and held it up over his head so that when Ishka was looking up at him, she was looking up at the paper floating over his head and was just like, we're from...
That's so smart.
It was so good. And Aslana could read it. Aslana could read it as well, so she was there just like, oh, we're from this family. And the guy was like, oh, yes, of course. And then she literally, like, amazing sleight of hand check, puts the paper back on the clipboard, and we were both just like, yeah.
Astounding.
We're so good.
Amazing. I got distracted slightly, even though I love that story, because I put in... I was messing around on the height comparison.
Such a good website.
I put in Posey versus Pox versus Prosper.
Oh.
So funny. Posey's 6'4", Pox is 4'10", and Prosper's like 5'5"-ish. So it's just like... But I'm like, that's why when I described the change, I was like, I imagine the first thing that happens is she just disappears. You're like looking at a point and then just...
Fair enough.
It drops over 2 feet.
Amazing. Even Trips called me out when I was making my character because he literally was like, Blue is playing a tiny character, shock and horror, and I was like, hey!
We know, but hey!
I think Spook must have said at least 15 times in that session that he wanted to just throw me.
Angry
and every time he did,
Mad at all.
Mad at
trying to get there for when the patch goes live and shit. I'm just like, when I show up, and I'm in the queue for however long I'm in the queue for. I don't even know what order I'm going to do things. I would love to say that I'm not going to go straight to story, but I'm 100% going to go straight to story. I have to know what happens. Excited for the Fantasia on Friday? Yeah. What's this? Huh? Just a playlist in my saved playlist that has no name. I think this used to be a different playlist, but they've just like scrubbed it. Weird. It's a good playlist. Like I'm looking at the track list and it's very good. I'm gonna put it on, but what happened here?
Magical mystery playlist.
Yeah. Like this was clearly something else. Like the image of it's been taken off. It's got 6,000 likes, so it was clearly like pretty big playlist that people listen to. It's just been so weird. Oh, I went on the person that this is. This is someone who remakes their playlist quite a lot. They generally like keep them, they just change a couple of the like aesthetic of it a little bit, like skew it just a little bit. I've got to get some writing done.
Excuse me. Oh goodness. I apologise if that blew up people's ears.
Yeah.
That caught me off guard. Claire. 2 secs while I tend to Screaming Cat, because she's screaming far too much. Here she comes. Here she is, making many noise. Baby has arrived. Here she is. What's that I can feel in your fur? What's in your fur? I had it, now it's gone. What have you got? What's that? What you doing? Come on then, go in the chair. Hey. Aww. I'm sure the baby misses you, even if she doesn't look like it. Have to come see the baby sometime. I'm sorry, I keep picking you up. Very unhappy. Thanks, Patters. Yeah, I've been talking about it a lot tonight. Of all the shenanigans we got up to. God, it was fun. Me that she gave up. You sold me out. Meow, meow. Yes, I know. Trying to set up, see? Trying to set up a union. Now stop screaming. Anyone would think that you were in pain or something, but no, you're just grumpy.
You ever writing something and you're like mad at yourself for every word you put down?
Yes.
Like, stop. Why are you doing this? Hate it. Hate it. I'm also listening to Inkpot Gods again, and it's not helping. Stop hurting my babies. No.
No.
My babies. Besides, it's not me. It's Final Fantasy main scenario.
That's worse, right? You get how that's worse.
Yoshi P!
Yoshi P will remember this.
think a lot about the fact that their interview with him, no spoils, but there's a patch after Shadowbringers that's very emotional. And in their interview with Yoshi P and Jesse's interview, Yoshi P was like, "Oh yeah, I watched you guys cry at that patch live on stream."
No.
Yeah. And they were like, "Oh."
No.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And Jesse was like, "Oh, cool. Yep, great."
Yeah, how do you even deal with that information?
The creator of the game watched you sob live on Twitch at the game
over his creation.
Honestly, what an honor.
Meanwhile.
Yeah. Listen, I'm a big fan of the Guards Union. Knowing Yoshi, he was probably like, "Thank you, I fed my soul, I live another 5 years." That was kind of the tone of it, yeah. He was like, it was a compliment, you know. Like, I know Soken watches like all the like fan remixes for the soundtrack.
Ooh, say.
His Twitter is just like 24/7 is talking to, what do they call themselves? Oh my god, what does he call them? Like the Bards of Light or something.
Aww.
He calls them. It's just like anyone who remixes Final Fantasy music, Fantasy 14 music. You got Alex Masuka's Husky, etc.
You guys are just recounting the D&D session. Does it seem fair to you that he has such a nice desk and you don't? Does that seem fair? If you join our union, we could get you a nicer desk.
About that? Like,
oh, many screams, Sadie.
thank you for covering my silence with your screams, Sadie.
Meh.
Sorry if you see me keep taking my headset off, it's because I just had a massive crashing noise from the other side of my wall.
Oh dear.
What the fuck just happened?
Meh.
The next emote on this channel has to be a Sadie emote. Like,
She's just angry.
just has to be.
She's just angry because she's basically in timeout. She's
Yeah.
being too noisy out there.
And so you should.
She's being too noisy out there, so she's in here and she's literally just walking in circles, grumbling to herself, just going meh, 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 meh.
That's the Sadie I know. It's crime.
Screaming has been terrible the last 2 days. Me and Spook have
Yeah,
had
I remember.
terrible night's sleep for the last sort of like 3 days. And
she really, like, for people who only interact with Seiji during the waking hours, like, the sound that she makes when everyone is asleep,
yeah,
it's astounding.
Yeah, like all
it sounds like a human being being killed.
All the noises that you hear on stream is when I am awake and she knows I'm awake.
Someone's awake.
She only makes those sounds when she's convinced that everybody is asleep, and yeah. Because
there is nothing
yowls.
like being in a dark flat that isn't yours. Being like sleep and being like, oh okay, I'm gonna go to sleep, and then just hearing like the most eldritch noise you've ever heard emanating from either like the other side of the flat or like right next to you. Multi planes being shut down. Yeah, it's on that spectrum.
No, that's the sound she makes when you pick her up. When you pick her up, she goes.
Yeah.
That's the plane being shut down. The screech that she makes when she thinks you are asleep, I literally do not know how to recreate it.
There's no words for it. It's an eldritch noise.
Yeah, so like you will never hear it, and basically unless you sleep over in this flat, because she does not make it live. Like all of the yowling that you hear now, those are her. Someone's awake.
A noise crime.
Yeah, and she makes different meows, as you know. As you know, you hear a yowl, and then there's the meh being picked up, but there's also the sort of like which is just her sort of being like, there you are, which is
acknowledgement sound,
which is fairly normal, just the meh. And there's like her talking to you sounds, where you're just like, I know Sadie, and she just kind of goes meow.
These are small grumbles.
Hello, I know. Hi. You under the desk now?
I'm drawing closer to the mic so that I may scream directly into the ears of the audience.
There's the pickup one.
Yes.
Hello. Give me a cuddle.
Hi, baby. Do you mind because Totoro?
I don't have a Totoro. I have the collection of children.
It's the children collection.
The children collection that I've obtained over the last couple of weeks, which consists of a Bulbasaur, a Kobold, and a Totodile. And the three of them.
Standard blue behavior.
The three of them have been living on my chair for the last 2 weeks. They literally have not been anywhere else in this flat. Come on, baby. Oh, you feel
that one time.
You feel a little cold.
Spooked your corner, then you killed him.
Yeah. Tried to take the Bulbasaur.
So funny. I'm gonna put that clip in chat for people who miss it.
It's such a good clip.
It's so funny.
If you haven't seen it, this is a clip of my boyfriend trying to steal one of my plushies.
Had it ready.
Yeah, that's it. This is a clip of my boyfriend stealing one of my plushies and me hunting him down.
It's murder on camera. Just hear it.
some sugar on me in the name of love.
I think I have injured myself.
Oh no.
Continuity. What was this? I can't remember what I've cut and what I didn't cut. I can't ever feel bad for Spooky. Definitely got murdered. Is there? I've seen.
My computer is giving me.
I can hear it in my head.
My computer is giving me the warning of bedtime. It is.
Oh fuck.
It is. Yeah. It's 11 o'clock, my dudes. It's time for us to stop and go to bed.
God damn. Hell yeah. You did so much.
Yeah. Good.
I did basically nothing, but I did write a little bit. Considering I'm like actively falling asleep is like a success. Good art you did.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll continue this one, but I really wanted to at least.
That was a fun little sketch.
Yeah, I wanted to get the sketch down. Look at Dean.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's Ishka's final design. It's literally the first and only time I have drawn her.
Just a little gremlin friend.
She's just a kobold.
A little friend.
Yeah, but I've opted to go for ears as opposed to fins, which quite a few of my kobolds have fins, so I've opted for ears to see how they look. Don't know if I'll stick.
Yeah. Right, are we gonna head off?
I think we are, yeah, because it's late and it's heckin'.
Sleepy.
You've had a heckin' busy day. I've had a heckin' busy week, and it will continue to be
busy. I had a heckin' busy. Still yesterday.
Yeah. I've had a heckin' busy month. Let's be real, and it's not going to stop.
Right, we're off.
So
we'll see you next week.
Everybody.
For art stream. For potentially very unhinged art stream.
Potentially, yeah. We'll be dealing. Curls will be having to deal with loads of feelings, and she will be unable to talk about any of them.
Oh god, I didn't think about it that way. We got a frog update before we go?
A frog update before we go?
Whoa!
Yo! That's
Holy
bonkers.
Shit.
That is nuts.
So, my colours.
Good. So good. Oh my days.
Okay. On that
Nuts.
bombshell.
I know. That is nuts.
We're gonna go to bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not been actively said on a stream, we are on a blanket break for D&D. It will not be happening.
Yes.
It will not be happening this year. We will see you in January 2022 for the next D&D. We had Blight Princess last week, but it was only afterwards that we decided that we wouldn't be.
It's just too busy.
Everybody's just too busy.
Sucks.
Everybody's too busy. So yeah, no blanket, no D&D streams. But for now, we will still be doing art streams, so we can see you every Tuesday at approximately 8:30.
No matter how unhinged I am.
Yes.
There will be art stream.
We will be doing art stream. So yeah, we'll see you next Tuesday, my dudes. Take care, everybody.
Wow,
Love you loads.
Bye.